Welcome in. CHGO Bears pregame show where the nonsense has already started. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman with you after an awesome tailgate this morning. Wabash and Cermak.
Honestly,
we are back. We are ready to go. And the Bears absolutely have to win a football game today.
Do they?
Yes.
See, who do they play next week?
The Panthers.
And after that?
The Jaguars.
All right. They're 3-3 after week 6. You're freaking? Going in the bye? I'm just saying.
You're
winning.
You're assuming on the circumstances they get to 1-3 that they're going to win both of those games?
I'm not assuming that. But you're saying they have to win. And there's a lot of they have to win. And let's be clear. Winning would be a lot better than losing. But if they lose, I don't think we need to bury them yet. Now they lose today and they lose next week. Well, then we probably need to figure out what we're going to do the rest of our lives.
Well, I'm just saying, if they lose today, you got Andy Dalton coming to town next week.
Oh, here comes the Andy Dalton fear.
I've covered enough of this team to understand how the storylines start to trend. Oh, they're not going to lose this week.
Well, apparently everybody here at CHGO, I hope we're right today, because literally every single one of us, not to jump ahead of the show, thinks the Rams are scoring 20 points today.
Yeah, our predictions, which we'll show you at the end of the show, are very, very similar. It's very odd. Well, welcome in, Carm.
Just real quick as we get into it here, Hoge, and as we're going to get to what matters most for in 1 second. But I just want to say thank you to the people that come out to our tailgate each week. They are coming from Germany. They are coming from London. They are coming from Missouri. They're coming from Denver, and full of cheer. I'll say it's really a good time. Hope to see everybody else out there if you can find it in your schedule. Wabash in 22nd. It was just a great time today. That being said, Hoge, and I'll shout out everybody coming up here before we get out. But why don't we key off with what matters most? That's how we start our pregame shows. What matters most to you today, Adam Hoge, as the Bears go for their second win on the year?
Yeah, I think the easiest way to put this is that what matters most is that when we get together in about 4 hours from now on the CHGO Bears postgame show, which is on its way to winning awards, that we are not leading the show and endlessly talking about the offensive coordinator. Like I think that's a good barometer. And if we are talking about it, it should be in good ways. That, hey, they turned the corner. I mean, obviously what always matters most is how the quarterback plays, but I think we've reached a point already here in week 4 when we got leaders and captains like Mercedes Lewis talking about how they have to tell them that they want to be coached.
Tell the coach to coach.
I mean, we've had red flag after red flag after red flag here, going back to February. And the original red flag was the JSN interview, which we all wanted to give a benefit of the doubt. Okay, it's a guy we don't really know. And not every player loves their coach. Maybe we just happen to get, it was fair to give him the benefit of the doubt. But looking back on it, we are now, the red flags have a trail to them a little bit. And I don't think that we're at the point where you're bailing on the guy at all. But I do think we're at the point where that's what matters most today. They got to get this thing turned around. Shane Waldron needs to have a good day. And he cannot be the biggest story in that building again going into next week. That's what I think matters most.
So I'm pretty much right with you here. Just for the record, Jackson Smith-Njigba this year, without Shane Waldron, has a 12-catch game. But in the other 2 games, it's 5 total. So he's been targeted 21 times. He got 17 catches, 175 yards. It's not a terrible start. It's not an overwhelming.
He had one big game.
Right. He had one big game. And that was against the Patriots. The Seahawks won in overtime. By the way, Seattle's 3-0. Optics, we talked about that earlier in the week. I boiled down my what matters most into a little more specifically the goal line and the red zone.
Are they supposed to go across the goal line?
Yes.
Is that how it works?
Well, look, first and goal at the 4 better look a lot different than it ended last week. That, Shane said that he needed to be better and that he was going to learn from it and that he will be. Great. And let's give him the benefit of the doubt, but it needs to look different this week. And it also needs to look different, by the way, if on first, second, and third down, you run the ball and you can't get it in the end zone, well, then you're kicking the field goal and you're going over the sidelines, or if you're going to the locker room at the timing last week, you are using it as motivation. You are showing your frustration. Guys, we need a yard. You need to show me that you can do that. We need some like Mike Tomlin level accountability, speaking truths versus everything's hunky dory because everybody talked and that's great and that's the Flus way and I get it. But I've been thirsting this entire coaching tenure, even going back 10 years now, nagging the same thing. I like honesty, and then when you see a piece come out, which was interesting. Shout out to the guys at NBC Sports Chicago that, the network coming to an end here. They're still putting out content over there. And the piece, what's up? What are you laughing at?
I just laughed. That's all. I just laughed because this story does not have a byline on it.
I know it. Well, but it said it doesn't have a name on it. But that's
my point.
Okay. Well, whoever did it, I have no idea who did it. Whatever.
That's the point.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I laughed.
Okay. Well, so somebody doesn't want to put their name on this one, which is interesting. But the point, forget about any of that. The point is that you have a former Colts linebacker in Zaire Franklin talking about how Matt Eberflus, and basically that he couldn't stand the guy. And that he was being felt like
he was being he was being coached. Did you read the story?
Yes, I read.
Did you watch the video?
I did not watch the video,
which is what we should be playing if we're referencing this.
Sorry, I'm in the free flow of thought here.
I know.
On the coach, Hoge does not appreciate my free flow at times, which I don't even appreciate my free flow at times. But the point is that this is not. Listen, we've heard like little rumblings a lot about the way Flus relates to the people in the room, coaches and players, and I just would like to see some level of improvement this week to a long way long on.
I'm just saying if we're looking at guys that are upset at the head coach that we're trying to track, to Gary Ross's point in the comments right now, we're talking about a 7th round pick who was benched his rookie year and probably wasn't jiving with the hits principle. This is not a credible. I'm willing to listen to. Here's where I was going to go on Flus, because I agree with you that he needs to be part of this conversation. And as I put in my game prediction and in my Bears Things newsletter on Friday morning, this is a game he needs to prove he can win.
Yeah.
You're going up against Sean McVay. You're at home. You're favored. You need to find a way to win this game as a coach in year 3. That's the point here on Flus that I think is worth making. This is a big game for him too.
It is, and I'll give him credit on this. He owned his part in the 1.2 point didn't realize what to go for conversion. He didn't run from his role in that ridiculous sequence.
He did, but he wasn't also that direct and like, yeah, we weren't ready for it. That's on me.
He said we all got to be better.
Yeah,
coaches and players. He could have just said, "I'm the head coach. I messed that up."
100%.
Let's
get to our inactives.
Okay.
Because there are some interesting storylines here. No surprise, Velus Jones is inactive again. Dominique Robinson, Terrell Smith is hurt. Bill Murray, Zach Pickens is also hurt. None of those are surprising. Kari Blasingame was off the injury report. He had no injury. He was technically on the report because he had been on it before, but he came into this game with no injury designation. Full participant in practice on Friday. With the way that they were talking about how they missed him in the running game, which, by the way, sucks. It never even occurred to me that he might be inactive in this game. So, again, at 11:10 before kickoff, we're talking about personnel decisions already. To me, this isn't exactly a good omen for the day.
No pushback. You want to get the ground game going. You need your fullback. Your offensive line stinks.
There's an argument to play Velus Jones. We had that conversation the other day. Just to get something going.
I'm begging for them to play Velus Jones, but I'm one of the few, the proud, the Velus Jones beggars. But to your original point, the Kari Blasingame thing is odd. But you also rewind back, when Shane came here, he's not a fullback guy. It's not his game. That's not what he does. That's not who he is. So on some level, it's not that surprising. That's not the Waldron way.
I agree, but the Waldron way isn't exactly weighing here early.
No, it's light.
And he was active in week 1. Now, I actually didn't think Blasingame had his best game as a Bear in that game, but like I'm just surprised. You would have thought that. So instead, and I get it. I mean, Waldron doesn't need a fullback. A lot of teams say they don't need a fullback, and they just use their tight end sort of in that hybrid H-back fullback role.
Well, that was going to be Steven Carlson, and then he got hurt.
Yeah. Okay, it hasn't been Steven Carlson. He was practiced for a couple days and then got hurt like that. So then put Blasingame in there.
I agree.
The fullback.
Blast off.
Who's on your roster.
But that's another thing too. If we're talking about roster maximization, if you're not going to use the fullback, then don't have him take up a roster spot. Same thing at this point with Velus. If you literally looked at Velus as he was one horrendous play on a kickoff away from we'll never use him again, well, then you should have traded him for whatever someone was willing to give you.
We still don't know that was
that there was an actual offer.
Yes, we
okay, then you should have cut him, even if there wasn't an offer. Set my Velus free. What is the point of him keeping up a roster spot if you got this super crowded running back room that you don't really seemingly at this point know how to use any of them?
Yeah.
And I listen. Hopefully, Roschon Johnson. Everyone seems to be thinking that he's going to get the opportunity to be the main ball carrier today. Hopefully, he'll do incredibly well, and they'll show they can know how to use him. But to this point, it hasn't happened.
Chubbs 82, $20 super chat here in the pregame. We definitely appreciate it. He says, "I am begging them to actually run Herbert and not just on the goal line. This guy is a top running back in the zone run. He can actually house call it, unlike slow motion backup Texas running back." A little harsh on Roschon, but I agree with the overall premise, Chubbs. The red flags is just, they're starting to pile up in my own head here. When Shane Waldron said this week that Khalil Herbert's the goal line short yardage back,
I've been making this point for
I almost fell down.
Right. Dude,
You got this is again. I am. They don't know their own personnel.
Correct.
It's beyond alarming. We had this in week 1 when you're easily your best tight end, the guy they've already paid, isn't playing enough. So at least they corrected that. But they don't seem to understand what their running backs are and what their strengths are. I cannot believe that actually came out of the offensive coordinator's mouth the other day.
It is pretty stunning. Dude, your 4th round draft pick out of Texas who looks like a freight train. That's your short yardage guy. Not the 5'6". Granted, he is ripped. Khalil Herbert is that guy spends time in the weight room. But he's not your short yardage guy. He's the somehow, some way gets yards all over the field guy because he's got a great feel for how to run the football. And I saw somebody in the chat said he's no breakaway speed. Correct. That's not him. But he's crafty enough that he led the NFL in yards per carry, not running behind the best offensive line, either doing it.
Yeah.
So
and by the way, Chubbs was a little strong in both directions there. I don't think Herbert's necessarily a house call back. I don't think he has that extra gear. I do think he's more explosive than Roschon, though. And to me, Roschon should definitely be your short yardage back. But, all right, believe it or not, as negative as maybe that first segment sounded, I am optimistic about today, and there's some reasons we're going to bring up here in a second. But first, if you're thinking about going to this game or any game, but especially if it happens to be today, I know Crystal was looking for tickets last minute. Game time. Got to go Game Time.
Game Time.
Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. You got the super deal, your flash deals, all-in pricing. You can toggle that feature on. They'll show you the total up front with all, it's the worst when you're like, yeah, this is my price. And then you go to the checkout and it's like twice as much. Not with Game Time. You turn on all-in pricing. You see that upfront total from the very beginning. Super helpful. Seat views, so you always know where you're sitting when you're buying the tickets. Lowest price guarantee. They got Game Time ticket coverage too, so your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account. Use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time. Give me the woo. Can I get a woo?
Corey Woot.
We're missing the woot today. We're in the missing woot formation. Braggs will be here for the post game. Briggs and Brown coming up as well. And yes, if you're doing your gambling today, do it with our friends at Circus Sportsbook, pro or college. The app to bet football on. Circus Sports Illinois. Circus Sports betting the way it should be. Circus Sports Illinois has high betting limits, has low holds, exceptional customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Spreads, props, futures, in-game. Circus Sports has it. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. You do have to be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, so Friday's my day out at Hallis Hall, where I get the best interviews that you'll ever hear.
Wait, are we going to talk about what happened?
What happened? Herb? I don't know which way you're going.
Talking about the shirt thing?
Yeah, there was a shirt. There was a shirt situation that was shared.
Oh, that?
Can we show that?
I'm going to get it.
Because
all right. You didn't need to bring this up, but
we'll do it.
We'll do it. It's in there somewhere.
I did need to bring this up. You just went by it.
He did?
Right there.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. So, all right, this is what happened. All right. I got to Hallis Hall on Friday.
Wait, I think we should set this up. First of all, can we show this and then we need the explanation.
Okay. All right, there it is.
Look at that six-pack.
Look at that hot bod. That's a guy that does yoga. That's a guy that plays tennis. That's a guy that needs to get a belt and a shirt.
Thank you for getting his face in there, because I don't know. I feel like you're.
Oh, I got my license plate.
You're in.
They're gonna come all. Everyone's coming after me.
Oh, God, you're right.
Yeah, we could have cropped it a little bit.
Don't worry about it. I got eyes on my vehicle. Anyway, the point is that I get there and I had a little bit of needed a shirt change. So I pulled out a polo style shirt from my trunk that you just saw.
Why did you need a shirt change?
Because I had breakfast and things didn't go well. So I went for the shirt change and I put that shirt on, which was I was taking to the recycle shirt place. That was what was left in my thing. And that was my best one that could fit me. So I put that on, and then I noticed that it had a snaggle on there. So I pulled on the snaggle.
You never pull on the snaggle.
I pulled on the snag.
That's a rookie mistake.
And then I created a full hole.
Yeah.
Which I'd never snaggled into a hole before in my life, but I did there. And then Nick and I did a video, and then he asked me on the video what happened to your shirt?
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had covered it up. I was gonna go.
It wasn't even noticeable in the video.
Right.
Yeah.
Then I had to opened and the snaggle, the hole, and talked you through the hole and the whole thing. And
how did it go from a hole?
But so then I was like, this shirt's done as we were walking to the car, and and I just decided to go, oh, that's it for this shirt, and I ripped it because it was over. And then Nick felt the need to take a photo, and I thought that would be for his private Nick collection. Then he put it in Slack, and now you're talking about it.
And now the whole world's seen it.
And now everybody knows my license plate.
Yeah, it's okay. Chevy Trax from Ray Chevrolet.
All that happened. Long way of getting to the point is on Friday, normally I give you great interviews, but Hoge jumped me this week on Thursday.
You could have done one too.
What's that?
You could have done an interview.
I could have. It was actually... Can I talk behind the... I think I can talk behind the scenes. Tyler Scott and I are becoming Michael Jordan, LeBron James conversationalists each and every week.
So you hate each other?
We love each other.
Oh.
Or I love him. I don't know how he feels about me.
I don't think Michael and LeBron get along, do they?
No, but we talked last week about they were talking LeBron and MJ, so then I went over and got involved. And then this week, Tyler was like, Mark, and then we continued the conversation. He wanted to keep going. And then Caleb walked over.
Oh.
And I get the Caleb in there.
Caleb got in there too?
Caleb got in there too. I'll keep all the conversations private because, whatever. But the point is that I was having a great time, but I didn't get any great interviews, and you did.
Ooh.
So I'm excited for...
I don't know if it's great,
Well, any time the Sand God talks, it's great. And you're great.
Well, I was genuinely curious about this because everybody understands Jack Sanborn's role. But every time he's on the field, something good happens. We talked to Baldy about it this week. And even though, I think at this point we've talked to Jack Sanborn about his role. But as I always say, I've never met an NFL player that doesn't want to play more. Actually, that's not true. I've met a couple.
Martellus Bennett was cool with how much he played.
Most guys want to play more, right? And it's just human nature. And so, obviously understanding that and embracing your role, I wanted to hear from Jack Sanborn about, where his head's at right now, the plays he's making, how he always finds the football, even though he's not on the field a lot. And so we had this conversation. I believe this was on Thursday at Hallis Hall. Here it is.
I know we've talked about this probably endlessly with you, but your role on this team in you only get 8 snaps the other day, but 2 of them seem to be game-changing type of snaps, and you've kind of had to embrace that role. I'm just curious, over the last couple of years, what you've done to kind of mentally prepare yourself to know that when I go in, something really good can still happen, even though I'm not on the field a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. Whenever you're out on the field, you always got to have that kind of belief in that feeling that you can make a play that changes the game. And I think I've had enough experience over the past 3 years and been in enough to where people count on me to do that when the opportunity arises. But like you said, a lot of it's dictated off of what offenses do and what offenses game plan us and personnel wise. And everything like that, and just how we game plan against it in terms of exactly what we're going to do as a defense, how many snaps I'm going to get, and things like that. So I kind of don't really worry as much about that, but know what I need to do when my number's called, and know what my job is. Everybody's got a role on this team. Everybody's got a job to do, and just try to do my job to the best.
I've never talked to a player who didn't want to play more. That being said, are there any benefits or pluses to kind of being in the role that you're in?
Benefits or pluses as to...
even if it's just health, you're fresh when you go out there.
I think that's one thing, but it also just kind of opens up a lot of other things. Obviously I do a lot of special teams too, so gives me opportunity to do that, to help the team, and then just in general, just always doing whatever I can for the team.
Going back to Wisconsin, you always seem to have a knack for the ball. It seemed like you find the ball or the ball finds you, whatever it is. At what point in your football career did you kind of realize that you had that?
Probably in college. And I think credit to a lot of the people that I was with at Wisconsin, players, coaches, and everything like that. And that's kind of where I got to learn the game and understand the linebacker position, and, where plays are to be made, how offensive block certain things, and where you can make an impact, and I just try to do that every day. I mean, TJ still does it.
For the record, that was not Carm singing in the background. Carm was not there on Thursday, but
I'm bummed that I didn't get to experience it. I liked whoever said in the chat that you were like the Hoge whisperer there. Whenever you go into a conversation like that, it's always slightly awkward. Other dudes around, and then you're asking them, "Hey man, you only played 8 snaps. That kind of sucks."
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. Let's see if you'll say anything about your head coach.
The locker room is not the most conducive place for interviews. Would you agree with that?
No, you gotta get. The media needs to get excited about talking to one guy in one corner, and then you got to get somebody else. Where that's my whole focus of a.
But it's a game because honestly, because we were doing that situation, we'll raise our hands. We kind of missed the Mercedes Lewis conversation and all that, and some of the stuff he said, because that's just taking people behind the scenes a little bit. Like there's a real game going on there because you're trying to get one-on-one conversations, talk to guys, get answers to some things that you just have like one quick question on, and then meanwhile Mercedes Lewis is over there being like, we need to be coached.
Yeah, so let's talk about a couple of things here. One, are they making a mistake not playing Jack Sanborn more? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. This is like the definition of it's a good problem to have.
Okay.
Because what do you want him to do? I mean, to me, TJ Edwards is one of the most underrated linebackers in the league. Tremaine Edmonds is your signal caller and certainly playing at more than a high enough level to be starting, and he's getting paid the money he's getting paid. Your only option is to play more base in situations where you shouldn't be in base, which is not a fundamentally sound defensive practice to do.
Right. I think maybe rewinding back is probably where I want to take this then. Did they make a mistake in allocating? Now, I'm not saying that Tremaine Edmonds don't get angry here, chat, or get angry if you want. I can't control you.
Get angry.
Tremaine Edmonds, I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm saying he's an expensive player.
Let me ask the question. I know what you're at. Could they have survived without signing Tremaine Edmonds and Jack Sanborn is your Mike linebacker?
Right. Alongside TJ, who you're going to have to pay a lot more money to next year. Would that have worked? And you could have allocated that money elsewhere. My point right now is overall.
It's tough. I mean, probably the answer is yes. But your linebacker depth right now is a huge strength that you have. It's not a bad place to be in. Jack backs up all 3 spots. And I guess where I wanted to go with you on this is I think there are ways that you could get creative to get him on the field more.
Okay.
Even when you're in your nickel. Like can you have a you have a very specific package where maybe you're
go in there and rush the quarterback.
You take a lineman out.
Yeah.
And you
see what you can do.
And so, now, that's probably not something you're going to want to do a lot because defenses are going to understand when you're doing that. They're going to have something to counter off that. But at some point, can you surprise somebody with that?
Right.
Because you know that Jack Sanborn's really good at finding the football. That's all I'm trying to get at. And I don't think this is any criticism or anything. It's a good problem to have, and it's one that the Bears are dealing with.
Do you like Pokemon Profits 3-3-5 D alignment? Want to do that? 3-3-5 out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, that would be that equivalent of taking a lineman off.
Right.
The problem is like Vic Fangio's system would be more conducive to playing around with this.
Right.
The Bears are running, Tampa 2 principles with the pretty hardcore 4-3. We're going to keep the ball in front of us, and it's working. So it's like, I don't know. How about this? Can Jack Sanborn play fullback today? How about we do that?
I'd be interested.
Let's put him. I mean,
he'd crack the hell out of someone.
Someone mentioned to me on Twitter right before the game. They mentioned a team, and now I'm forgetting who it is that literally has like a hybrid tight end D lineman fullback player.
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah.
So put
Get your
Sanborn on offense.
get your good players on the field.
Yeah.
Should we go out to Hallis Hall? I mean, Soldier Field. Thank you very much. Out to Soldier Field. We ready for that?
We don't really have a full break here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're good, Steven.
yeah.
One day we will, I believe. Hopefully.
But yeah, Nicholas Moreano is standing by, ready to go. He's got a really cool plaid shirt on today. Was hanging out at the tailgate earlier.
Dude's just doing it on so many levels. It's frightening. Nick, good to see you. We started the show a little confused with the Curry Blasting game inactive. Well, let's start there with you. What's your reactions to the inactives?
Yeah, so I mean, with Kari Blast game specifically, obviously, coming into the season, we always wondered with Shane Waldron in the fullback position, how often is he actually going to use it? I think we're kind of seeing now that at this point, with Blasingame being healthy, obviously Shane Waldron doesn't see that as the right fit for his offense, at least this week, as we're seeing that Blasingame's not active. So it's not something that's new with Waldron, but you would think to maybe try to kickstart the rushing attack in any way. Maybe putting a fullback back there would have helped, but obviously that's not the case this week.
What concerns you most about this Rams team, Nick, as we take a little peek of the opponent today?
Well, I'm just looking at defensive. Let's look defensively for the Rams. They have all these glaring weaknesses. I think my concern with this Bears team, can take advantage of those weaknesses. They haven't been able to stop the run. They can't stop the pass, but we haven't. Last week's a good example of the Bears not being able to capitalize on a very weak Colts rush defense. Can this Bears team find a way to just maximize what they have offensively to hit on those weaknesses that the opposing team has? So I look at that, and even though the Rams have only had 4 sacks on the season, they still apply some good pressure on quarterbacks. So you still got to watch out for that if you're Caleb Williams and this offensive line where I'm seeing right now, you guys. Yeah, Matt Pryor there starting at the line right now. It's another week of continuity with that group. We'll see how they do with this Rams pass rush.
Shout out to Gary Ross again. Gary getting 2 shout outs from me in this pregame show, but he I missed this, but apparently the Chiefs used Leo Chanel as a fullback last week. Leo Chanel plays what position?
Linebacker?
And he went to what school?
Wisconsin?
Yes. And are the Chiefs good at football?
I believe they are the
Okay.
defending Super
Do
Bowl
they seem to
champs.
know what they're doing? Okay.
Going for a
I
three-peat.
don't know. I'm just a guy here on the CHGO Bears pregame show.
You're just a Bill on Capitol Hill? Anybody get that reference?
Yes. Schoolhouse. What is that called?
Schoolhouse Rock?
Schoolhouse Rock? Is that what it is?
I
For some reason, I was saying that and it didn't sound right. There's no chance Nick knows Schoolhouse Rock.
Back to Nick.
I was shaking my head.
No, he did.
Is it still raining over there? Sorry.
No, it looks like the drizzle stopped here, Mark, but the wind is still, at least, it's still going right now. 16 miles per hour when I was just checking my weather app. And was it the streamers on the top of the field goal post? Those are still going right now. So there's some good amount of wind, but it looks like for now the drizzle/rain has stopped.
Yeah, I'm interested in the wind today. Friday night in the high school world, it was very windy and crazy with the hurricane wind.
You guys win?
We did. Yes.
Congrats.
Shout out to David Kaplan. Shout out to Mark Potash. Shout out to not Mark Carman or Nicholas Moreano coming to the game.
I was at Six Flags Great America. Thank you to everybody who said hello. You guys were awesome.
Downtown Arlington Heights, man.
Yeah, Cappy and Potsy were out there, though.
Whatever.
But my point is, it was a very tricky special teams game because it was literally the hurricane winds coming out of the northeast. They were swirling. It was wild. So it seemed like, Nick, at the tailgate earlier, pretty close to Soldier Field, the wind had died down compared to what it was Friday and Saturday. That being said, right on the lakefront, so it wouldn't surprise me if it does become a decent factor today, even though it probably won't be as crazy as it was the other night.
Yeah, I mean, we saw special teams, how much it played a factor in the last time the Bears were at Soldier Field in their, week 1 matchup. But now let's see how much it factors in with this win that's going on right now. Again, you have to battle the elements here, especially, and, Torrey Taylor knows that, Carlos Santos knows that, being here at Soldier Field. But I can tell you guys right now, it's still going right when I got to the stadium. And we're about 30 minutes before kickoff. It's still, again, I checked 60 miles per hour. So we'll see how that progresses or maybe decreases as the game goes on.
Nick, did you see Simone Biles? You say hello. She's apparently there and ready to support her husband, Jonathan Owens.
Yes, she's down there. I can tell you this, guys. Upgrade over on the sweater there with the Bears sweater as opposed to it was Green Bay Packers Jonathan Owens sweater last time, but she's got Bears gear on. I think that's trending in the right direction. Hopefully the offense can say the same thing after this game.
I did not notice the sweater. Those are real boots. I should get boots like that for the show, don't you think?
You should just have a shirt that is full and whole. Let's start with that before we get crazy.
want boots
And
like
hey,
that.
Mark, I asked you, like, hey, I'm going to take this picture. What is going on over there? This man,
Oh my God.
this man almost fell out of his chair.
That was unbelievable.
We
Did it break?
yes. We broke a chair situation.
I
We got a
don't think I
broken
can move.
chair.
No, we're going to survive. We're going to survive. We have a broken chair. I'm okay. I'm going to balance.
How did you
It's
do
going to be
that?
all right. It's going to be all right.
How?
I can't get up. I can't. We're gonna finish the show. First ever broken chair pregame. I'm an athlite.
Oh, you're watching. I'm
not
next to
going
Patrick
anywhere.
here. He's watching the show.
Trust me, I'm
and,
going nowhere. Patrick, come over here and be my chair leg. I love.
You are standing on one
It's
leg
because of the
right
Simone
now.
Biles boot comment. I shouldn't have made. That was the karma of that.
Oh, we got the Grody. Grody's passing
Brody
by.
wants to. Hey,
Mark
Mark,
Carman just broke a chair. Of course. Yeah, of course he did.
I'm leaning.
We don't know.
I have no idea. Who breaks a chair?
I'm going to actually defend you in this moment. I don't think you did anything
I
wrong
didn't. I
or-
just leaned in to get my coffee.
I think we just had a IKEA situation happen or something. You know.
Out of all the people, though, that it could happen to, of course it's you. Of course it's you.
100%.
I think I deserve credit for being able to balance through. That was a hurricane that just happened in the studio. Hope everybody's all right out there, by the way.
Yeah, the last time a chair was bent that far back here, it was under much worse circumstances.
We can laugh about that now. I wouldn't be here if that didn't happen.
Maybe I don't know. This thing is so far off the rails now. I don't even know
Nick!
if I have a question. Do you have another question? for Nick?
I'm just going to bring us back in with
Yeah.
one last extravaganza here. Nick, we'll talk to you post game. What percentage? Give me a percentage. How many throws, how many runs do you think we're going to see today in a slightly dampened Soldier Field?
Ooh. I still don't think that I don't know, Mark. I still don't think they get the rushing tech. I think it's going to be more heavy on the pass game again, and you get Keenan Allen back too. So, and I'll say this real quickly before I head off, you guys. It was nice just seeing 15, 2, and 13 out there, just kind of warming up and going through the offense, just the walkthrough type of offense in the beginning here. So, I'm going to go. It's going to be another offense or pass heavy day, even though you like to see more bounce.
I love it.
So we won't throw the ball 52 times today?
Maybe not 52.
Let's
50.
All right.
Nick, thank you so much.
Nick,
Anything
great
else you
show.
want to share pregame here before we get out?
No. I'll see you guys post game. We'll see what happens.
Herb Howard sitting next to you?
He's not. No, I haven't seen Herb. Herb is MIA right now.
Wasn't at the tailgate.
No,
Not-
Herb.
Wait, he wasn't
Herb?
at the tailgate?
Not at the tailgate.
He
Not-
told Crystal he was going to be
I
there.
know. That's why I brought it up, because there were people at
Should
the
we be
tailgate.
concerned? Should we be
Maybe.
concerned
No,
right now?
you should not. He's
Okay.
well, Crystal went over to the game early, so maybe they're pre-gaming elsewhere in the stadium.
I think Herb's doing his job just fine.
Okay.
Nick, enjoy the game. We'll talk to you post game.
All right, you guys.
Let's see that graphic, Steven, on the offensive situation here.
Are we gonna be able to see a slow-mo of me nearly dying on the
Well,
set?
maybe, but I do have a thought that while these people are enjoying this graphic and I talk about it, maybe we could do a quick chair swap so that you're
Oh,
not-
we're gonna share swap?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we can, but this graphic says can't stop, won't stop. So here are some legitimate to get the show back on track here, some legitimate reasons for optimism today. I mean, you look at what this Rams defense has been so far this season. I mean, we're talking about them ranking worse defensively than the Bears are offensively. And opponents' points per game, yards per game, they're dead last. Sacks, they're not getting after the quarterback. They're not necessarily taking the ball away at a high clip. So if there was a get-right game, you would hope it would be in this situation that the Bears are in today to get something going offensively. And, I mean, you look at the last two games, and I watched both of these closely, the Rams games. They weren't even competitive against Arizona 2 weeks ago. That game was over very, very quickly. And then, because I think that was the week we were getting ready for the Sunday night game, and we looked up, and all of a sudden, like, the Cardinals were crushing the Rams. Last week's game against the 49ers looked like it was going to be going in that direction too. And great, give the Rams all the credit in the world. They're well coached, and they were able to come back. But that was also a 49ers team that I think if they had Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel and George Kittle, probably puts that game away a lot quicker than they did. And Brock Purdy did not play his greatest game. So that's all a long way of saying, bringing the show back to the top. If we are sitting here now 3.5 hours from now talking about how they didn't get things going offensively and we're still questioning the play calling and all this stuff, this is why I do actually think this is a very important game today, Carm. And maybe must win is too strong, but given all the facts and stats and tape that we have in front of us, there's a reason why when you zoom out, the Bears are still favored by 3 points in this game. This is a game they should win.
Yeah, we were moving the chair around, so I didn't hear every detail of everything you just said there, but I'm assuming you underlined. They're last in the NFL giving up 425 yards a game. They're 425 yards. That means they're giving up just under 7 yards per play. They give up 7 a play.
Yeah.
That's a lot. The Bears, for the record, are averaging 3.68 yards per play. All right? Half. So can the Bears get to over 4 today? Can they improve by a half a yard? So they'll, be getting first downs more consistently. It's a huge opportunity. But again, the Rams, the Colts were horrible on the ground. The Bears rushed for 63 yards. What are you smiling at?
I don't know. I'm smiling at Steven laughing.
I'm pulling up the replay of you breaking the chair.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We got it. I mean,
of me breaking the chair. That's I need that wording to.
I mean, if Barkley broke a chair, they'd be showing it 900 times.
I'm telling you right now. We're in trouble for the postgame show. That chair.
I was gonna say, is that one broken too?
There's 2 broken chairs.
Yeah, I heard the leg cracking when we started moving it.
I think I broke 2 chairs.
Yeah.
Good thing that
You took out 2 chairs in one pregame show?
Well, I tried to move the other one, and it was like, wasn't a good sign.
All right.
You want to just we're talking about beating the Rams for just
There's
a second.
no way Braggs is watching this, so let's make sure he's in the Steven, can we make sure he's in the half broken chair for postgame? See if we can replay all this.
He's got the knee thing already. I don't know.
Oh,
So
the
hey,
knee thing. How many times does this guy get to play the knee card every day? Dude's playing golf 6 times a week.
do you know how many yards Matthew Stafford has thrown against the Bears in his career?
A lot.
Do you think it's over 3,000? He's played 20 games. 20 games is a line. 23 total.
Yes, I do.
Do you think it's over 4,000?
Probably.
You think it's over 5?
That's more than a regular season?
You think it's over 5,000?
No.
Would you be surprised if it was almost 6,000? He's thrown over 5,761 yards just against the Bears.
Yeah.
5,761. That's more than any Bears receiver in the history of Bears. 35 touchdowns, by the way.
20 games.
23 games. He's 12-9. So, he hasn't exactly dominated. He doesn't have Aaron Rodgers dominance. But the dude knows how to dissect a Bears defense. Now, they don't have Cooper Kupp. They don't have Puka Nacua. They do have a guy by the name of Tutu Atwell who caught a 50-yard bomb last year. But I'm just saying, it ain't going to be easy. This guy is, Caleb loves him. I've always appreciated him. Lions fans flat out blamed him. Then he went to the Rams and won a Super Bowl.
Did they blame him?
Some of them did.
Yeah.
Some of them did.
Yeah.
But they're good with Jared Goff now. At any rate, it's one thing we haven't mentioned here, this a little bit, I think, just looking at the whole thing of today and just the Bears defense in general. And I understand, I saw my guy Pizzatola, my new best friend. He doesn't know that, but we are. The Bears gave up a bunch of big plays last week. I mean, Anthony Richardson was terrible. They still gave up a 40 and 44-yard, huge play in the game. Plus, Jonathan Taylor got loose for 29 yards to the end zone. So that would be one way the Bears would lose the football game, giving up big plays to one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL.
Well, I am worried about Stafford, but it kind of ends there. I'm worried about him taking what they're – it wouldn't surprise me if the Rams control the ball a lot early because the Bears are going to keep everything in front of them. Stafford's going to take it. That could leave some long drives that leads to field goals early on. But I think the Bears will consider those victories for the most part. So, and this is a game, again, the problem becomes how are you going to force takeaways in this game? How are you going to win this turnover battle? That's honestly my biggest concern about today is offensively, they just really have to take care of the football because I don't know that they're going to be able to take away the ball a ton on the other side today.
Well, taking care of the football, their outside linebackers, Jared Verse, Byron Young, these are real players. The Bears loved Jared Verse. Brian Poles was a big proponent.
There's a lot to like there.
You can't draft everybody, but Poles was. I heard him on his pregame show today. I mean, he said Verse is something else. Wanted to keep him here. They called him his draft crush.
Mm-hmm.
Power and explosion. He's a handful. So, and by the way, who's the Rams coach?
Sean McVay.
He's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
They also, but on the other side of things, and credit to McVay, getting everything rolling over there. They got 17 rookies. 17. That is a 30-year roster. It's a lot.
Yeah. No, they're young. This is a game the Bears should be able to control, I feel like, but you never know with this team right now. They got to get it going offensively. All right, should we talk prop bets?
Let's talk prop bets.
All right. Well, we showed all those stats that kind of favored the Bears offense, you would hope, in this game. And I have been telling you all week that I think that they're close. I think Caleb played a lot better than some corners of the internet are giving him credit for right now. I think Caleb keeps it going from a passing yard perspective. I am not expecting the Bears, despite the matchup against this Rams defense, to be able to run all over the field. I'll be surprised if that happens just based on how they're playing right now. Leaning on what's working, though. And to me, that's the quarterback and this young rookie. So,
okay,
I believe the most advertised over-under you're going to get on passing yards is somewhere around like 224, 224 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Put you right there, with a little bit of juice going Vegas's way. I'm going to up that.
Okay.
Get some better odds. And I'm going up to 250. 250 plus passing yards for Caleb Williams today, and you're getting plus 185 on that.
Okay. Went down, might be on, just looking at one of the apps here. Plus 180, so you got good odds on that. What, you didn't think about going up to 300? Plus 750?
I don't want to get crazy.
Okay.
750 to get 300?
Mm-hmm. 7.5 to 1 versus 2.5 to 1 on 250. You're talking about 50 more yards, and I think it's a better value.
A lot of odds, but I do, but realistically, I still think this settles in because I do, like I just said a few minutes ago, I do think the Rams control football a little bit in this game. So you're talking about opportunities. I don't think the Bears have as many plays as they did last week. I don't think he's throwing the ball 52 times like he did last week. So you got to factor those corrections back to the norm in. I'm just thinking he's going to be a little bit more efficient with the opportunities he has, so he still hits 250.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm doing the dumb Carm bet that I just keep on leaning in on.
Is that a segment yet? The dumb Carm bet of the week.
This year it is. His name is Roshan Johnson. It's 29.5 is his over.
Okay. I might like it.
You're getting 29.5 yards.
You said this every week.
I did. I have been, which is why apparently it's becoming dumb. You know what and I'm also I might parlay it with Khalil Herbert. You know what his over under is?
18.5.
10.5.
Oh.
10.5.
He's the goal line back though.
Right, this guy.
I mean, I agree with you that he should get more than that. But if they're not going to give him the ball in situations where there's even 10 yards to gain, how is he supposed to get there?
Listen, Shane. 5.7 yards per carry. You can't run the ball. Lean in.
Yeah.
He'll get you he'll make you look better. This is my unsolicited advice to Shane. Don't try to be the smartest guy in the room. Being an average guy in the room is going to work for you just fine right now.
I'm not even sure it's that situation right now.
What situation do you think it is?
I'm not sure. I'm going to be
You get yourself in trouble one time.
No. I already did it twice in this show.
Okay.
Let's get to predictions too, because I think there's replays we need to be able to.
Are we gonna have a replay?
I think we're gonna have replays before.
There's a slow motion too.
Oh boy!
Wow, Steven doing work behind the scenes here.
Yeah. You don't want to go anywhere because we're gonna relive the greatest moment in CHGO history here in a couple minutes. But first, we're gonna make our picks that were all weirdly similar.
So we're all brilliant.
Yeah. So I got the Bears winning 24-20. I don't think the Bears are able to run away with this game. I think they're offensively going to get it going a little bit. Like I mentioned, though, Stafford worries me. I think this might be a game that you have to win despite the turnover battle being tied, too, which makes us a little bit closer. Maybe leads to the 20 points on the Rams end. So, yeah, I got 24-20. But we got 3 24-20 predictions on here. Woot's 24-20. Kevin Kaduk's 24-20. And then Nick and Braggs both have the same prediction, 20-17. Carm also predicting 20 points for the Rams.
Yeah, I hate our predictions. But, hey, we'll see.
Those are all a coincidence, by the way. We don't collaborate on those at all.
Zero collaboration. I wanted to pick the Rams today, but then I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yep. And by the way,
go.
our predictions are also, as always, presented by Ray Auto Group. And here's Ray's pick of the week.
Hey, guys. Ray here at Ray Auto Group, and I'm going to do a quick Bears prediction for you this upcoming weekend. Bears are playing against the Rams. Rams are down a ton of offensive players. I like the Bears to win. I like them to win in a close one, 24-21. Let's go, Bears.
Oh, at least he went 21. At least he got that one extra point there.
We're all praying. Bears in a close one. Somehow, some way.
This is one of those games. Just
Greg Braggs, by the way, has entered the studio, and he's hovering over Steven because he wants to see me fall on set, I believe. Or he wants to say something.
I have heard that you're fat on the air. That's what I heard.
I'm fat on the air.
That's what I heard. I mean, it was going to happen to somebody, so I'm glad it wasn't me.
I mean, that barbecue today was phenomenal.
That's what it was.
You did tell me as you were eating it that it was going to lead to some type of problem.
Well, and there it was.
I mean,
the mac and cheese, the pulled pork.
It's so good. Firewater barbecue.
I got to go to, apparently Patrick Norton, by the way, who's in the chat, who was doing phenomenal work for us. I think that he picked the Rams today because he said somebody, if you read the article, picked the Rams.
All right.
Yes, let's watch me fall.
Let's go back into a glorious moment of time. Here we go. And here's a little shift. Bam. You definitely shifted. I don't know what you're doing.
I
there.
tried to.
I was so confused about what was happening. I thought we were having an earthquake or something.
We need
I
like an
tried
ODK.
to move the pillow.
We need
That's
like
what
an
it was.
ODK telestrator type drawing on this one. Yeah.
Because I was looking straight at the camera, and all of a sudden, like, something was shaking over here.
I think that could be the key to victory today. If I can, the fact that I didn't go down means the Bears won't go down. I'm a part of the team.
I mean, I definitely provided some support there.
You did. You
Yeah.
jumped in.
Yeah.
You were a great teammate.
It's the teammate.
Braggs
wasn't here. He's coming in heckling you.
He would have thrown the chair into the ground.
Oh yeah.
He would have.
Yeah.
All
right.
We need a new chair. So if anybody
by 3:00.
Yeah, we're over here in the West Loop.
We got another chair.
Maybe we'll just sit on the ground Indian style for the show today if they lose. We'll go in a circle.
All right. Well,
maybe I don't. Yeah.
I don't think they really care what kind of chairs we're in. We're going to be here regardless. So as soon as this game's over, you know where to be. CHGO Bears postgame show. Please be here. Please join us. We will have that link live for you. Is it already live? It is live.
It's live.
Hit that. It's already live there in the feed for you on YouTube. So go ahead and hit the notifications on that. You'll know the second we go live, which is always right when the game ends. But if you hit that notification button there on that link for our postgame show, you will get the notification. It'll pop up on your phone, your screen, whatever you're doing. And you should be here. We also got Briggs and Brown coming up right after that. And later tonight, if you want the coverage to go beyond the Bears, the All-NFL Sunday Huddle dropping as soon as Sunday Night Football is over. I'll be hosting that tonight with Bo Wolf from PHLY and Johnny Venerable from PHNX. Love those guys, and we're going to have a great discussion about all the action around the league. So as always, CHGO, ALLCITY, we have you covered on these NFL Sundays from start to finish, and we can all sleep in February.
See you at 3, and we're going to be talking about the Coleman Shelton revenge game. He is going to smoke every Ram he sees in the face. He's going to clear some space, and Roshan's going over. Make the bet.
Carm's going to go get revenge on that chair.
That's right, chair.
See you post-game. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.